Here we go. Another edition of Garage Boxing. I'm Kevin Breen. I'm joined, as always, with Mr. Rob Ernster. How you doing, Rob?
Yep, good to be here as always.
And, of course, we are here always talking about the great sport of boxing and a big fight to start off the first week of November. It wasn't going to happen. Now it's happening. Canelo Alvarez against Caleb Plant for all the belts. What do you say, man?
I think it's going to be a great fight. Caleb Plant's not as well known, obviously. I mean, I don't know how many fights you've seen him. I watched a lot of the fights on YouTube, not really live. You know, he's a shifty guy. You know, he's more of like a slick boxer, but I think Canelo's just got too many weapons. You know, Canelo is fast like a welterweight, but hits like a heavyweight. I think it's just a matter of time before he catches him. You know, if you're asking me for a prediction, I say he hurts him in like round 5 and he takes him out in round 7.
Really?
I know a lot of people think it's going to go the distance because Caleb Plant's, going to keep his distance and try to use his hand speed and stay out of range. But eventually he's going to have to get in range to land some punches and score some points because you don't score any points when you're running, So it's just, I think it's just, they're two different levels. One's like, I think I saw was Timothy Bradley said, Caleb Plant's like a great street basketball player, but he wouldn't make it to the pros, And I think Canelo's a pro, and I guess we're going to find out,
Yeah, that's why
it's going to be a good fight.
That's why they fight, and yeah. I think a lot of people would just say, hey, it's another white boy, or, and you see how he's got that kind of swag to him. And, obviously the press conference, I've never seen anything like that in the Canelo press conference. I mean, he's been in with a number of guys over the years and never had somebody get under his skin like that before, right?
Yeah. Well, he was calling him a motherfucker, and he translated it to fuck your mama. So it was a misunderstanding, but either way, they're not supposed to be friends. They're supposed to try to take each other's belts. So whatever. It's going to somewhere take it.
He cut his eye a little bit, sunglasses. He did smack him. He did. Caleb Plant did smack him, and and he's been talking about the steroids, right? Bringing up the steaks,
painted meat, computerol. Yeah, but just so you know, Caleb Plant went to slap him with a left, and you'll see Canelo like slipped it, and then went boom, boom, 1-2, real fast. So
he didn't totally slip it. He got some hand and maybe a little touch of palm.
He rolled with it. Yeah, you see who got their glasses broken, who got the cut. I mean, he landed 2 slaps on him, and he barely landed a finger on him. I mean, so I think that's a sign of what's to come. That's like
all right. I hear you. I've been watching All Access. I think it's on Showtime, and obviously Canelo, it's the same story, fucking rich, but now he's gotten married, I guess, and he's got a little daughter, and I don't know, getting married and stuff like that, maybe soften him up a little bit. He's never been married before, and this whole fight at the press conference. Caleb Plant, he's had a kid die, and he promised her that he was going to win the world championship. Holy shit, that came true. That I don't know. I was watching this fucking episode, and I was starting to believe.
All those episodes are designed to be the underdog's going to win. I mean, let me ask you this. Do you think Caleb Plant's better than Billy Joe Saunders? Do you think he's more slick? Do you think he's better? I don't.
Here's the thing. Okay,
so.
Let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders. This because Billy Joe Saunders started to actually score some points there in the rounds before he got cut. He did.
Right.
I mean, look, I know he fucking broke his face. I get it. But before that, and he's ducking and dodging and going low. Caleb Plant doesn't. He's a tall guy, but he doesn't fight like a tall, rangy guy. He will get in there and hook, and Canelo's right there. And there's a big difference in size there.
Yeah, you're talking about height. Yeah, with height, but the weight's the same, but the power's not the same. So it doesn't matter if you're fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you can't throw a punch or land it, it's not going to matter.
What if he's going to do some sort of Andre Ward was in his camp, right? Andre Ward, and on this same episode I was watching, Andre Ward was like, Just use your feet, man. Always be moving. Always be moving. If he has a good game plan where he can keep Canelo, chasing him down and pepper him from the outside and withstand those shots in the middle, maybe he can get in there late. I don't know. I'm wondering what the odds are. You said you were looking them up. What's a kind of
yeah, I was looking at all the other bets. So you got to bet 420. $100 gets you 425 on Plant. You have to bet $850 to win $100 on Canelo.
Yeah.
And the over/under is 9.5 rounds. So I think everyone sees it as Canelo stopping this guy. Maybe you don't.
Over though or under? Like, I don't know.
Well, 9.5. I mean, it's either over 9.5 or under. What would you bet? I would bet under. I know this guy's going to run, but eventually he's going to have to engage. He'll try to do it early. He'll get caught, and then he'll be scared, and then Canelo would eventually just catch him. I mean, I think Canelo beat probably 4 guys that could probably beat Plant. Daniel Jacobs, Golovkin.
That was so long ago.
Saunders. I mean, but he's better now than he was when he fought those guys. I mean, he beat Cotto. The list is long.
Can you name 31 now? 31?
Yeah, but he's in great shape. He'll probably fight till he's like 40 years old. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about Plant. I mean, I've seen some of his fights. I've seen his highlights. But the guys he's fighting aren't even in the same league.
He's gotten this far. I mean, I know he's less than 20 fights, but still, I mean, I don't know. I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a better chance than Saunders, than the guy before Saunders. I mean,
well, the guy before Saunders
kind of a tricky guy. I think he might. Well, like I said, I wouldn't be if Plant can, like I said, not use his wheels so much, because that's not really who he is. But if he could take some of that Andre Ward and then, like I said, avoid those big shots early on, I think, again, that's his natural weight. I don't know, man. I think it's closer than people think. And I don't know. I hope it's a good fight.
So what do you call him? I haven't heard you call it.
If I had to go with it, I'd say probably a Canelo decision. I don't think Canelo's gonna knock him out. So I think it's closer than people think. Can Plant? I don't know. What's a Plant fucking late knockout? I wonder if it's like you probably don't get those online. It's probably just the casino. But
Plant by knockout. $100 get you $2,000. So it's like 20 to 1 that so throw $100 down, you win $2,000 if Plant knocks him out. But Canelo's got a great chin. He's been in there with much heavier hand guys. Plant's like 21 and maybe 12 knockouts, and he hasn't even fought anybody that's really good or known.
Yeah.
So there's levels to it, and it's just one guy's fought all
I know there's
top
levels.
Guys, and this guy is great, but it's like if he was fighting like you in the ring or something,
I kicked some ass back.
Anybody would look good.
Yeah. Motherfucker, you remember me? Boom.
Yeah, I know. I remember. But yeah, I'm hoping for a good fight. I'm sure Plant will win some of the early rounds just because Canelo is such a slow starter. But eventually he'll hit him in the body, get his attention, catch him. I think he lands like an uppercut to hurt Plant. I think that's the punch that catches him.
Do you think that maybe Canelo had kind of moved on in a way? You remember when the negotiations started with this fight and they said, no, we're just going to go and maybe fight, light heavyweight or do something like that. This guy wants too much money. And then they eventually came back and said, all right, let's fight. Because it was supposed to be in September, right? So now it's November. Do you think maybe he's looking past Plant? I mean, Jesus, man, I'm looking
past him to who? I mean, who's after Plant? I mean, it was Saunders and Plant. Those were the two main guys in this division. And I actually thought Saunders probably had a chance, because he's slick, he's cocky, but I don't know who's after this. I mean, who does he fight after this? It's like he probably has to go up. But either way, I mean, I don't think he's looking past this Plant. You know, there's too much attention on him. He's like the poster boy for boxing now. He's got everything on his shoulders. He's going to look good in the lead up to the fight. You know, the build up. He's the highest paid guy now. He's coming to win. I mean, he's not going to be embarrassed. He's not going to look bad. He's not going to let this guy beat him, I would think.
Canelo against Wilder?
Yeah. Or maybe Ruiz. They're in the same camp. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to the heavyweight fight, the next video. But as far as this one, I'm thinking mid rounds. I think 7. Only because he really doesn't like this guy.
Yeah, and I honestly, what I would do, I would say if I was a pro gambler, and I'm definitely not, but I'd say the smart money, you know, if I had to, would be a decision. And because I think that those are pretty good odds in themselves, probably. But I would probably throw, a couple hundred down on Plant late. I mean, why not? You know, but I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, it's going to be a good fight, and let us know what you guys think out there if you're watching this video. Subscribe.
You gotta tell people to hit the subscribe, the alert, all that stuff. I know we're getting this out late. They got like a day and a half, 2 days to watch it. But I'd like to see some other people's feedback on how the fight's going to end and what round. You know, it's easy to say, "Oh, Canelo's going to win," and then you say, "Well, how? When?" And then it gets a little harder. Like, you know, you got to really zero in on what you're thinking, which is not. It's hard to do. I mean, you called it last time. The Fury Wilder 3. You had it pegged late stoppage by Fury. That was great, and I'm sure you didn't put any money on it.
I couldn't believe it, man. I mean, the crazy thing is the first fight I called, or the second fight of Wilder Fury, I called it, and I put some pretty good money down on Fury, I think, in like the 9th. And what it was like, it ended up being like the 7th or 6th, I can't remember. But yeah, no, I called it the 11th. I couldn't believe that, man. And but I could. That's why I called it, because, like I said, Wilder, you know, he's just, you know, Fury's got his number, you know.
Yeah, if he doesn't land that big shot, it's like he's gonna get outboxed like 9 out of 10 times, you know.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, hey, listen, man. Let's see what everybody else has to say, and you know, again, Vegas, November 2021. It's going to be, I think, a barn burner. I think it's going to be closer than people think. We'll see. All right. Have a good one, man. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. See ya.